The following program comes from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Every athlete is on this quest. Every performer dives in head first, battling real-life challenges and overcoming obstacles in an effort to make their dreams reality. Singer, songwriter, 15-year WWE host Lilian Garcia was the first woman to ever announce WrestleMania. And the first to launch her own podcast, which gives you an all-access pass to the human interest stories of elite athletes and extraordinary entertainers. Now, let's embark on another fascinating journey of chasing glory with your host, Lilian Garcia.
Well, welcome everybody to Chasing Glory. Another amazing episode is heading your way, and guess what? You hear all the chatter in the background, and that's because I'm at the Hilton Hotel here at WrestleCon, kicking off WrestleMania weekend and Midtown Manhattan. I mean, I absolutely love this place. I actually used to live here in New York City for 16 years, so being back in the energy just feels awesome. Anyway, so much been going on. I made my interview, or I had my interview with Dave Bautista. I can't wait for you guys to hear that. That's coming up. But a lot has been happening this weekend already. And here at the beginning of it, I actually ran into a fan that came up and told me what Chasing Glory means to her, and I wanted to immediately have her on. Jasmine, thank you for joining me on Chasing Glory. And you got to me when you came in tears and you told me what this show means to you. Yes. Tell me. Yes. Talk to me.
It just means that no matter what life throws at you, just hearing everybody's stories, it's just amazing to hear, like, okay, this person has gone through something similar or something totally different. Like, no matter what life throws you, you can get through it no matter what. Like, there's just something at the end of the tunnel that you can work towards.
Yeah.
It's just very inspiring. I wake up on Monday, I look forward to the show. I'm just like, okay, I'm ready to listen.
I love it.
You know,
kicks off your week.
It does, absolutely. It gives me like so much energy, like motivation. Like when work just like stresses me out, I can be like, okay, I can listen to what you said, like the quote, just be yourself and trust that it's enough. That means everything to me. It's
really. Oh, I love that. My God, it means so much for you to say that to me. And what about, what's been your favorite episode so far? Can you pick one?
Ooh, the one with Paige was absolutely, it was emotional. The first one,
yeah.
There's two.
Yeah.
The one with Aleister Black was eye-opening because he's one of my favorites. He's one of my boyfriend's favorites. The one with the Bellas, just, you know, such strong women have been through so much, and you can see, like, what made them, you know, what moments have made them who they are.
Yeah.
So many of them.
I love that. Well, you're my review of the week. I always pick a review.
I feel so special.
I love it. You're my review of the week. I'm going to put you in. You're going to be in the drawing for an 8x10 and also a Chasing Glory t-shirt. I really want to thank you for sure for everything that you've done as far as, you know, just also spreading the word. You've told me that you've spread it to other people and letting people know, and that's what I always ask is spread the word, because I can't do this by myself. But how about you help me out here? We're going to go ahead and go into Dave Bautista. We've got a lot happening this weekend, I know, but I want to get people excited about this because you're going to hear this interview about his mindset going into the match against Triple H. By the time this airs, the match would have happened, which is pretty incredible, right? You get to hear both perspectives, the before and then we'll know the after.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, here is
Dave Bautista.
Journey of Chasing Glory. Born in Washington, D.C. with a Filipino heritage, Dave Bautista started fighting for everything in his life very early on. Living in poverty, murders, and thefts were no stranger to Bautista's neighborhood. After pursuing a career in bodybuilding, he was actually denied the opportunity to train at WCW's power plant, which led Dave to enrolling and training with Wild Samoan Alpha before signing a contract with World Wrestling Entertainment. After a few years in Ohio Valley Wrestling, Bautista made his main roster debut in May of 2002 as an enforcer for Devon Dudley, and within months was a protege for the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Along with Flair, he joined forces with Triple H and Randy Orton, forming Evolution, creating one of the most dominant groups in many years. He would eventually break out on his own, and in the main event of WrestleMania 21, he became the World Heavyweight Champion by defeating Triple H. Throughout his career, Bautista would continue to win multiple world championships and is one of the few to have won the Royal Rumble match at least twice. Bautista was never afraid to dabble in outside ventures, and in one of his first post-WWE showcases, he made his MMA debut in 2012, where he was victorious by first-round knockout. After a handful of independent film roles, Bautista started to gain notoriety in films such as Riddick and The Man with the Iron Fist, before getting the role of a lifetime as Drax the Destroyer in the global phenomenon Guardians of the Galaxy, as well as being included in the storied James Bond franchise and is featured in the upcoming worldwide release Avengers Endgame. Bautista would make his much-anticipated return to the WWE, where he faced off against Triple H at WrestleMania 35 in a brutal, no-holds-barred match. WWE superstar, actor, professional fighter, and author, there is nothing this man cannot do. It is about to get real, raw, and inspiring with Dave Bautista. I am so excited about this because you were actually, Dave, my first guest on Chasing Glory when I launched. And just so excited. Here we are. It's like a year and a half later.
Right.
Can't believe how time flies.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's WrestleMania weekend.
I know.
And you're back.
Here I am.
Back for one night.
I know. It's crazy, right? Like, it's really, so I just landed in New York, and here I am, and it just, I was on my way here, I was just thinking the whole time, like, what the hell am I doing? And I was excited. I've been wanting to do this for years, but I just, I haven't, like, this is not the way things are done. You're not like 50 years old and you leave wrestling for 5 years and just come back and go to WrestleMania.
Well, then again, it's actually exciting. Because
it's super exciting, but I also feel like, man, I wish I was a little better prepared. I wish I was a little younger. I wish.
Does your body feel it? Like,
oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I went and wrestled for the first time a few weeks ago, and I immediately felt beat up. It was just all the jolting around, and it might be one thing if I had some time to just get used to it. And you know how you get calloused, you go and you do it every day, but when you don't do it for years at a time, then all of a sudden you're being jolted around again. It's just it's.
But I've even heard some of the guys that are even in their 30s or late 20s who say, when they've left for, let's example, an injury, and then they come back,
they're rusty.
Like, whoa, those first few days are rough.
You just get rusty. I think it's the same thing with, athletes in general. When you're inactive, it's like the worst thing for you. Like it's like the rust just sets in. So I think that's all it is. But mentally, I think I'll be okay. I'd feel a lot more comfortable if I kind of knew exactly what we were doing, but at this point I don't have an idea.
I love it. Here we are on Friday, 2 days before Mania. See, this is the stuff that I love to talk about because fans think that you guys have been working out all the kinks, that you've been plotting everything out. I have even, even when talking to the girls, remember, I'm coming from the announcing side, so I don't know all the ins and outs, really, right? But I'll sit there and I'll talk to maybe some of the girls during the day at WrestleMania, and I'm like, you guys have planned this all out? And they're like, no, actually, we're just blocking it now. I'm like, what? Why is that? Why wait to the last minute?
I don't know. I don't.
Like, did you always do that in your career?
Not so much, but I think maybe I did. I was more comfortable with it because how it's just, you get used to things.
Yeah.
And you know how it is. It's like with the WWE, everything is constantly changing, or you're getting thrown a curveball at the last minute. And you're also just so busy running around, you just don't have a whole lot of time to plan ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hectic. It's a hectic lifestyle. But this time it's just because, Hunter's coming off an injury, and he is also more busy than he's ever been.
Yeah.
And so and I'm pretty busy myself.
I was just going to say.
So we just, with conflicting schedules, it just, and it's not like we live next door to each other, so we just haven't been able to meet. We met a couple times in Orlando, and we basically just kind of hashed out stuff and talked more psychology of the match and what we thought it should be and what we wanted it to be and the story we wanted to tell. And we met once with Michael Hayes, and because he'll be our producer on the match. And same thing, we really talked psychology and what we wanted the match and what we were hoping to get out of it. But we have not touched. We have not locked up. We have like nothing. I've gone down and wrestled with one of the instructors down at the PC, a guy named Drew. And we wrestled around for about 30, 40 minutes, just going over general basic stuff, just to see how my body would feel, how my timing was, things like that. But I've not wrestled in 5 years.
And how did it feel when you were there with him?
It felt awful. Yeah, it felt awful. I felt beat up. I felt, what's weird is I try to tell people, and it's a weird thing, and I think unless you've been in there, you don't really realize it, but you can be in shape. But for some reason, that being in the ring, the wrestling ring, is a different type of cardio. So even if you are in shape, you get up in there. I don't know if it's hitting the ropes or it's just up and down, but you just kind of get blown up, and it's kind of a thing, an endurance you have to really train for and like get some ring time and get used to it. But
because it's not like you've ever stopped working out.
No,
you work out
and
like
I consider
crazy.
myself to be in decent shape.
Yeah, you look great.
Yeah.
You've got your trainers that travel with you.
Yeah.
Like you're always on the go, like prepared. You're on it.
So I think, and it may be, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with nerves too. And you get in there and you're just in front of an audience. And for me, that's always been my biggest struggle is being nervous.
Yeah. So I remember when we were actually doing the interview a year and a half ago, you wanted Triple H. You wanted this. So when it got announced, I was so excited. Immediately I put it out there. I was like, if you guys want to hear how this whole thing started, and you saying that you wanted this match, why Triple H and why did you want this match?
Well, because I felt like my career really got started when I started working with Hunter. I've never beat around the bush. Hunter made me a star in that company. He put a lot of stock into me. He invested a lot in me. He put himself on the line physically for me. But not only that, but not only did he put me over like 3 times clean in the ring to help build me as a star, but he also took the time to, let me ride with him and let me pick his brain and kind of grew me to be a star in that company. I mean, he really did groom me to be a star in that company. So I wanted to finish out my career with him. It's the only way that I can really say thank you, is to go out on my back for this guy.
Yeah.
So, and I've always believed that. I've always been like, that's the old school in me, is I believe when you go out on your back, and if you can go out building a star, then you do that. Obviously, Hunter's already a huge star.
Yeah.
But this is the guy who made me a star, and I want my last match to be with him on my back, because that's literally the only way I can thank him.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so that's it. But it actually, so this, we've been trying to do it for years, but this actually started, and I knew this was going to happen at SmackDown 1000.
I was going to say,
yeah, and that whole thing, and that was, I'm going to take credit for that, and I, usually don't like to take credit for a lot, but I'll take credit for that, and I talked to Vince about it. And, Evolution was never really a SmackDown thing. I was a SmackDown guy.
Yeah.
But Evolution was never. And I told him, I want to see if there's still interest in me and Hunter. I didn't know if people were familiar. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I said, I just want to feel it, man. I want to feel it and see if they remember, and when they did, we teased that match. I knew right away. I was like, this is it. They want it. And when I was leaving that night, and I was leaving DC that night to go back to Toronto, Hunter said, he said, get in shape, motherfucker. And I knew,
he felt it.
I knew it was going to happen. And then he hit me up, I swear, I think it was like a month later. It's like, hey, man, I tore my pec. And I was like, it just meant not to be. And I just didn't think. And then a couple months later, I think, not even a couple months later, it was, I think, a month and a half later, he hit me up. He said, I'm going to be healed by Mania. You want to do it? And I said, yeah, I want to do it.
Right.
And so that was it. I think, and he's really cutting it close. Like I think he was just cleared to start working out like a couple weeks ago. Like he's really,
that's amazing.
Again, putting it on the line, I think, to give me this. And because I'm 50 now. He's going to be 50 in a couple months.
Yeah.
And I think he's on the same page as me. It's like he's starting to get injured here and there over little simple things, and we have just evolved into doing other things, and our careers have evolved. And I think neither one of us want to overstay our welcome and be just physically falling apart in front of the fans' eyes. That's like nobody wants to see that. I
think also it's because you guys put your body so much. It's not like you're not a regular 50-year-old. Right. You're somebody that has wrestled so much that your body's like, dude, you put me like feeling like 100.
And I think Hunter is we were always in the same way, and we clicked because we wanted to get up and go to the gym. We wanted to get up and go to the gym. We wanted to eat all day. We wanted to work out all day. Go and wrestle all night, and then talk about wrestling during for the 3 hours we were driving. So we were always very much alike in that way. But I think again, I mean that's it's just wear and tear on your body.
Yeah.
You're not even just entering stuff, but trying to stay in shape on top of it.
You mentioned to me off of this that some Hollywood people are really confused as to why you're doing this.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of that because I'm doing very well.
Yeah, you are, which I can't wait to talk about.
It's weird to say that at 50 years old, I am having my most success in my career.
So exciting.
And it's because my film career has just started to take off. And a lot of people, more than a few, are like, what the hell are you thinking, dude? But they just don't, unless they've been there, they just, I think it's hard for them to relate, why I would risk so much to do this. But I don't, for one, I love wrestling. Like, I love it. And I just don't feel like there was closure in my career, and that's hard for me. So I don't want to be 60 years old, 65 years old, thinking, I just feeling that emptiness, that void, that there was no closure on my career. I really need this. Personally, I need this.
So it feels like having kind of a breakup, but not really having that breakup?
Yeah, I guess I think...
like, what goes on through your mind when you say you feel no closure? What is it that's bothering you?
You know how there would be, like, an emptiness if someone died and you never got to say goodbye to them? Or someone died and the last time you saw them, you had an argument.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. I feel like I left wrestling... we had an argument. I left and we never spoke again.
Well, because of the whole Royal Rumble.
I need to sit down and have a conversation with wrestling and make peace.
Yeah, we really dived into that. How when you came back for the Royal Rumble, you wanted to come back as a heel.
Yeah.
Vince wanted you as a babyface.
Yeah,
that totally backfired.
It was so
the fans then took it personal, like a personal attack.
Really did. It was horrible, man. It really just And I tried not to take it personally, but it did. It hurt because it's hard to tell people that you want to be there for the right reasons, and they just don't want to hear it. They just don't care why you're there. They just don't want you there, and so it was a hard thing for me to do, and it was really even harder for me to leave because I felt like I just connected, like I connected with the audience. I was where I wanted to be. I was entertaining them. They were getting into it. They were pushing the personal stuff aside.
Yeah.
I was kind of getting past that, and then I had to leave. I had to go promote Guardians. I was obligated to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Man, and speak about that, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Oh my God! And then Avengers, and then you've got so many other movies that you've done. The James Bond movie. You've got movies coming out.
Yeah.
Is it 2 that are going to come out this year?
I have, I think, 4 coming out this year. I have two studio leads, which is a big, like, studio lead for me was where I wanted to get.
Yeah.
And I have those, and I'm getting more, and I'm also going to be in bigger franchise movies. Dune and Avengers game will come out. But Dune is a huge deal for me because I'll get to work. It's a huge movie and with a huge director and a huge cast. So it says a lot. So yeah, it's acting credibility being involved in a project like that. And then a couple other things that it's going very well. Yeah. And then we'll do Guardians 3 still.
That's exciting. You know, when I go to Disneyland, I see the Guardians scene. I always think of you. Yeah. And I'm in there when I'm, and there you are, Drax, you know. And I go, my God, how it must feel for you to know you've got your own ride.
It's pretty great. I actually went and did that ride, and they wanted to kick me off of there. I just wanted to ride it all day because it's just the big kid in me too. I just want to But yeah, it's like,
how do you feel for you to be in there? And
it felt weird. It was as weird as you would imagine.
Well, I know that you talk about being so shy and an introvert and everything growing up. So I'm sure the humble side, but come on, the kid inside of you's got to be like, holy
super
crap.
excited. Super. That's the kind of stuff I get excited about, like the action figures and being a video game.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. I'm not. Yeah.
And Avengers.
Yeah.
How is that for you?
It's weird. I don't know, and I honestly don't know how much of this movie I'm in. I'm in the movie. I've been. It's weird because a lot of the people who disintegrated in Infinity War, they just don't really want, and they're not being negative about it, but they would just like us not to talk about the film.
Okay, got it.
And I can talk about. I'll tell you what I know, and which is not much.
Yeah.
But I remember. And I will talk about this because I already did, and I talked about this because I didn't know how the first film was going to end. So I talked openly about my work schedule and what I was filming, what I was doing. And so I guess, inadvertently I was giving away a spoiler because I was telling people before I knew how the first film ended that I was in both of them. Because I had already filmed them, I had worked on them, and I had signed up to do Guardians 3.
And nobody informed you.
Nobody said, hey, don't say anything. But I didn't. So until I saw that movie, I didn't know that everybody was being vaporized.
Right.
So it just is what it is. But now it's hard for me to look back, and because they did everything out of sequence and everything's just kind of out of context. So I don't know how much of this film I'm in. I know I'm in it.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much I'm in it. I don't know what scenes are. I know I'm going to appear in this film somewhere.
That's cool. You know what I love is again, when we were talking about how introverted you were, by the way, I want to thank you for that because the fans responded tremendously to that. And they were like, wow, I feel that way, and I didn't know that I could still become somebody.
Right.
And that was the beautiful thing of you sharing that, in that it gave people hope that are suffering through that, especially, and I've said it in other interviews, I've used your quote in other interviews because I remember talking to Seth Rollins, and he talked about what an introvert he was, and how sometimes he felt awkward. And I said, Bautista mentioned that if he could tell his younger self to relax and it's okay and accept himself, that's what you would share. And that was, to me, that was great. Again, so many people have shared that. Did you feel like have you always known that you had this funny side of you? Because you were so funny in Guardians.
No, I struggle to find myself funny because I feel like I'm a very monotone person. I'm a very dry person. So no, I didn't know. I don't know if it's if I have a natural sense of timing or just it's from me being such a fan of films and comedians and that I just kind of get it. I kind of get comedic timing, but I don't know where it comes from. But I can say that I'm still learning, and I love learning it. And it was hard for me until I was actually on my film Stuber to really realize that there was such an enormous difference in the way a director would direct a comedy. Because I had no clue, but there's definitely a difference, and I didn't always agree until I saw the product afterwards, and it started to. Now I get it.
That is pretty
now I
cool.
understand why we were doing certain things, and it's just one of those things where I always try to just be a student and learn and kind of absorb from the people around me, and so I think that's kind of with everything in life. It's just kind of be open-minded to learn, But I definitely still finding myself as a comedic actor, but I get a lot of calls, man.
Yeah.
People want me to do comedies.
It?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an obsession.
So you love comedy, though?
I love acting. I just love acting. Yeah, I would take any, but I think it's when something is more difficult for me, I get obsessed with it because I thrive off of challenges.
Yeah.
I want to be challenged, and so I think right now, lately it's been the comedic stuff because I just can't envision myself being a comedic actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess at the end of the day, maybe I am a funny guy.
Yeah, you are. It's wild because when I studied with Leslie Kahn, the first thing they do is put you in comedy.
Yeah.
Because they say that's the hardest thing to do. Huh. And once you can capture that, then being dramatic and all. And I think it's a lot of times we live in drama in a way, you know, with our reality of life.
Maybe.
We don't go around, you know, I mean, we laugh, you know what I'm saying? But I can just see if you're trying to force a laugh or force the comedy, how much harder it could be as to somebody say, act mad.
Right.
I feel like we can be like, oh, yeah, I can totally do that because I remember telling my boyfriend off or my girlfriend off.
That's, that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, I never thought about it like that, but it makes perfect sense because when I do like comedic acting, I think the way I struggle or the reason I struggle is because for some reason I think that I have to try to be funny, and I don't have that. Like, but if you ask, you know, if I have to do a dramatic scene where I need to be emotional, I have so much to draw from.
Yes.
Like I have a bank.
Right.
Yeah. So, that makes sense. That's actually a great analogy. That's a great way to look at it.
Well, I remember you sharing so much, too, about your past life and how, I mean, you're someone, my God, talk about giving somebody hope. Because you're someone that actually was going down the wrong path.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And you went, you know, you were in jail, right? Several times?
Several times. from a very young age. Yeah, I was a product of my environment.
Yeah.
And I think that the only thing that kept me from really going over that ledge was my mom. But I think otherwise I either would have been dead or I would have killed someone. But it was my mom. Yeah.
And you said your mom's coming to WrestleMania?
She'll be here, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was this is it for me. And there was people who were just kind of there for me along the way that I just wanted to make sure were here. Like I told you, my ex-wife is here.
Angie. Yeah, I saw Angie. So excited.
Really was important.
So tell me, you said that she helped you start this whole thing.
Yeah, well, no,
How?
She did. We started this together. I mean, we literally, from the day one, from when I first went to the Wild Samoan Training Center in Pennsylvania, we were already together. We were a couple. We were married. We loaded up her little Honda Del Sol and moved to Pennsylvania to start wrestling.
Wow.
And so she was there with me when I got my WWE contract all the way through, my first WrestleMania appearance. She just was there with me. And I think it's weird. It's a bittersweet thing because wrestling drove us apart.
Yeah.
But it was something that we started together, and I wanted her to be here to see me finish it.
It's a beautiful thing, though, that you've kept your relationship so amicable.
Yeah. I think we're closer now than we have been in years because, for so many years when I was wrestling, because, like I've told you, we went from being together like every day to never being together. And then we just started resenting each other. And then there was so much built up resentment that we lashed out at each other and we just became mean to each other.
Yeah.
And then we finally, because of our son, we just learned to, kind of coexist again. And
Your
then we
son's
learned
so big.
to be, he's so big now, right?
That's so awesome, I know.
And then we just learned to be really close friends again.
Yeah.
And so we're closer now than we have been in years.
And how does it feel for you to have like your son here and are you close with him?
Very close, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, very close.
That's awesome.
It feels good. It's I don't know if he was ever really into it all that much. I can't tell if he's even into the films that I do that much.
Really?
No, he doesn't really. I don't think he's not oblivious to it. He gets it. He thinks it's cool. But I think he'd rather just hang out with me. I don't think he really cares about all this stuff. I think it's my job. Yeah. And I think he'd rather spend more time with me than be impressed with me being on TV. I don't think he...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember you saying that your dad was really not there for you.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you try to make up for that and be there for him? Do you find that, or?
I don't really, I don't know if I ever try to make up for it because I don't, unlike my dad, my dad didn't want to be in my life. He made no effort to be in my life. I've always made an effort to be in Oliver's life. And I think, even if it's in little ways, because we live far apart. I live in Florida, and they live right outside of D.C. But we, call each other constantly, and sometimes it's just voice messages. Sometimes it's a text here and there. Mm-hmm. But just, I know he's thinking about me, and he knows I'm thinking about him, and I think that goes a long way.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be anything major. I think it's just, that someone's on your mind, that you care.
Do you wish you could spend more time with them?
Yeah, I'm actually going to make that happen. I think because I was and Florida and married, I had to spend most of my time there. But now that I'm not married, I'm going to get a place in D.C. again and spend more time there.
Cool.
Yeah, and he'll come down. Like we trade years for holidays, and like this year he'll be in spring break. He'll be with me.
Oh, that's great.
So we make things happen.
So you just brought it up though, as far as you're not married anymore.
Yeah, I'm not married anymore.
And what's crazy is I remember you talked a lot about her on the last podcast.
Yeah, I love her. Still love her.
Year and a half.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what happened. I won't break it down for you that much because I feel like when I talk about it, I just feel like I'm bad mouthing her, which I just won't do.
Right, that's a beautiful thing.
But I think overall we grew apart.
Do you think it was because you're so busy and she's doing her own thing too? And I know she didn't like to fly, right?
I think that I think that had somewhat to do with it. But I think we just went different directions in life. I think she was finding herself as an adult. I met her when she was very young.
Yeah, you guys are like 19 years apart.
Yeah, she was 21 when we met.
Yeah.
She's 31 now. And we were together for 9 years. And so I think that she just, she became a woman who we just didn't have the same picture of what marriage should be. And I think we just really grew apart. So we didn't have a bad breakup. I mean, I don't think there's any ill will or.
That's great.
And she didn't try to milk me for anything. I mean, she didn't want anything from me. We're sharing custody of dogs, which are our babies. She never wanted children. I knew that, but our dogs were like our children. And so we don't. It's not like a hateful breakup or anything. I literally think we just became very different people because I changed as well. I changed.
In what ways?
I think what I wanted my life to be. I think what I wanted my legacy to be, and what I wanted my future to be. It's just we were in very different pages of what we wanted our lives to be and what we wanted our support system to look like. And I think we didn't match up.
Like, what is it that you do want your life and your legacy to be?
I want to definitely leave my family with tons of security. And I'm not I'm not a monetarily driven person. But to me, money equals security. And I want to make sure that my son doesn't ever want it for anything. I want to make sure that my mom can grow old comfortably. Just things like that. And also I want to be able to not look back and say, I wish I had tried to achieve this or that. I really want to feel like I accomplished, like I just sucked life dry, like I just made, because I was born into a set of circumstances, and I want to make sure that I was never limited to just that, like just something like way beyond that. Like what I want people to, see a film of mine in 20 years and say, gosh, it's such a great film.
Yeah.
The way I look back on movies,
Right.
I love that. That's my legacy. It's like something that will be inspiring people like 20, 30 years from now.
Which movie, for now, would you say that you're so proud of that stands out to you?
For me personally, it's still, I think, Hotel Artemis.
Yeah?
Yeah. And just because I love the character, it's a fun character. I thought it's such an ensemble cast.
Jodie Foster.
It's an ensemble cast driven movie. It's a character driven movie.
Yeah.
And it was like a real honor for me to act alongside Jodie Foster. She's iconic. She's a multi-time Academy Award winner. And for me, kid from broke-ass kid from DC who's a professional wrestler, to be like really killing scenes with her, that's, to me, that says a lot. That's a big statement.
Yeah.
And I would like people to say that I crossed over, like I really crossed over, crossed boundaries, because it's not easy going from one type of entertainment to another, respectfully.
Right.
A lot of people can do it, but to get respect and credibility and different avenues of entertainment, it's not the easiest thing to do.
Would you say that you feel like for our industry that The Rock actually made a lot of that better for wrestlers, or has anybody compared the two of you? Or
I don't know. It's really, I don't know if he did. I mean, I don't think he made things easier for me because things weren't easy for me. But he's such a standalone person. It's hard to judge. I mean, I think that would be, to me, he's just, there's something really special about him. I don't think that everybody, they would dare, like, hold everybody to his standard. He's just, like, on a different level. I mean, he's just a star.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been in the same room. I know.
Yeah, I know.
You know him before I did, but there's something special about that dude. Like, and it's hard to put your finger on exactly what it is, but there's something special about him. You feel that dude walk into a room.
Yeah.
And he just got a certain energy about him.
But I feel that with you as well.
Thank
You're
you.
just
it's
quieter. That's all.
It's very quiet energy.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, and then I think it shows in what we have done in our respective films.
Yes.
Obviously his are on a grander scale, but his roles are roles that I wouldn't necessarily be interested in. I think it's just we've both taken our different avenues.
Yeah, I could not see him as Drax. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't.
And somebody made this comparison. I thought it was a really great comparison. It actually it kind of spelled things out for me, and I found it very flattering. And I don't think either of these two guys will find it offensive, but they said, could you imagine Dave Bautista in like a Fast and Furious role, something like that? And they said, probably,
I
yes.
could, yes.
I said, could you imagine John Cena or Dwayne Johnson playing the character that Dave played in Blade Runner 2049?
No.
I can't see it either.
No.
And for me, that says a lot.
Yeah.
Because I think that's going to be what defines me, is that I can cross over, I can do this role, I can do comedy, I can do action, and I can do those roles, with really, really highly respected actors.
But having somebody like him hit Hollywood like he did, did that motivate you? Did that inspire you? Did that instigate anything where you're like, I got to do this even more better?
Well, not to take anything away from him, but it didn't, because at that time, even when he was crushing it, I had no interest in doing movies.
You didn't?
No, I fell into it by accident and became obsessed with it.
How? Tell me about that.
So the first film I did, and I had done a couple acting roles while I was with the company, and still had zero interest in becoming an actor. But I had done this film called Wrong Side of Town. It was actually starring Rob Van Dam.
Oh, yeah.
And I did it as a favor to the director, who I loved to death, this guy named Dave DeFalco. But he offered me the part in the role in the film. And originally it was just written really badly. I said, well, is there any way, would you let me kind of contribute and kind of add on? He said, sure. So I did. I wrote it, and I thought it would be much better, and I went in to do it, and I was just horrible. Like, I was mortified how bad at acting I was. And that's when I realized that I wanted to do more, because I wanted to be better. I was like really embarrassed and felt self-conscious about being so bad at it. And it just kind of lit a fire under my ass to be a better actor.
That's awesome.
And that's literally that's how it all started.
And you were with WWE at this time,
I was with WWE, and that was the thing. And they wouldn't, because I asked Vince, is there any way I could do, maybe some WWE films? And they was like, well, I'm kind of not looking at you for that right now.
No, they're like, damn it, I wish we would have.
That was when it started the whole thing. Well, I feel like, if this person's getting acting opportunities, I should be too. And then, because I was really, I was headlining shows, I was making a lot of money for the company, I just wanted the opportunities, and that's when it kind of started to steamroll into something else. And then I left with just the ambition of being an actor, and I starred for like 3 years.
I love that you shared that story, because you mentioned how you didn't take these quick roles that could have given you the quick money, but you were looking at the long-term picture, and you said, if I do that, then I'm going to get pigeonholed. And it's not going to be the vision I had.
And I've told you that that was the person who gave me that advice, who kind of filled me in on that, was Steve Austin. So he pulled me aside and said, look, you're going to throw all this stuff at you, but if you do this stuff, you're going to be stuck doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So just be real careful of that. And I would just kept that in the back of my mind.
But it's also, it says a lot about you that you listened. Because when you're sitting there, like you mentioned, borrowing money from your manager, I mean, here you are, you can buy anything pretty much, and then all of a sudden you're borrowing money. That's got to be so humbling to go, maybe Austin wasn't completely right, and then you just grab something, but you're like, no.
No, I knew he was right, and it meant a lot. It meant a lot for, like, if you know, there's a few people in the business that you listen to. When they tell you something, you shut up and you listen. Yeah. And that's all a part. It goes back to me being, open-minded enough to learn.
Right.
And that was just he schooled me on something completely different from our business, but an important lesson. I just always kept in the back of my mind. And it was hard to pass when I was borrowing money and selling stuff and selling cars and selling, everything I had. It was really hard, but it was just something I don't know.
But again, it's a great lesson because there's probably so many people out there that are so desperate and know what they want their vision to be. Yeah. And yet they're so desperate because they're like, but how am I supposed to pay for this?
Right,
maybe I should go ahead and take something quick.
Right.
And for them to hear this, to go, nope, keep your stride and it will all work out.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's incredible. So here you are faced with WrestleMania. And I mean, I can't wait to see what happens when you walk down now. Mm-hmm. How has it been for you feeling the crowd so far?
It was, the only time it was weird was in DC. So I did my last promo in DC, and it's the Go Home show.
Yeah.
Go Home Monday Night Raw. And that
was last Monday.
Yeah, and I had talked to Vince weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, about, we pick certain shows. And let me tell you where this conversation stemmed from. But I felt like when they had me come back for Flair's 70th birthday party, I felt it was too soon. And the reason I felt it was too soon, I said, if I come back now, what are we going to do to fill in the rest of these weeks? Mm-hmm. And they said, well, we'll do a bunch of packages and stuff. I was like, okay, because the last time I came back, you guys didn't know what to do with me, and you just sent me out to say the same regurgitated shit like over and over. It's like I was saying the same crap every week on TV. It was horrible. I said, I don't want to go through that again. Sure enough. What are we doing? Well, we were thinking about, would you come and do this promo this week? I was like, I don't know. So we just went. It was again, button heads a little bit, and then coming to an agreement. And I wasn't, completely sold on some of the stuff. But Vince, I talked to him about DC in particular. I said, don't send me into my hometown the week before WrestleMania. I said, I'm going to gather up all kinds of support, and I was really just helping. It was kind of a great thing too, because this is the first time I've ever come back, and Hunter's been like a babyface.
Yeah.
Because they're so behind him because of what he's done in the company, and deservedly so. What he's done with like the NXT and everything is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first to say, tell you when because he told me about this years ago, and
Did he?
Started talking about the territories and started talking about training centers and started talking about the network. And I thought, when he started talking about it wasn't obviously not NXT at the time, but he thought, different territories, kids are coming, they're going from all over the place to work with each other. It's like the old territory way of doing things, but these are guys that are already under contract. I was like, it's not going to. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
The network, I thought was going to flop. I was like, no way.
Wow.
I was like, it's not going to work. And look at it now.
Look at it now.
It's crazy. But that was, that's Hunter.
Yeah.
I was like, this is just what he was born to do.
Yeah.
Like he was born to do this. But anyway, so that was a weird thing. Me coming back, and I'm now a heel, and he's a babyface. Hunter, a babyface.
Yeah.
Bizarro world.
But aren't you glad you're a heel? Because that's what you've always wanted.
But then that's my thing. I said, if you go into DC, I mean, no matter, I could go there and poop in the middle of the ring, and they're going to clap for me. That's my hometown.
Right.
They know that's my hometown.
Right.
And so that was the thing. And I tried to come out. So I came out and I did my promo. Oh, and Vince called me. He said, well, we want you to come to DC. I was like, nah, I don't think so. He goes, well, this is what I want you to do. And when he told me what I wanted to do, it was like a forward promo. I was like, I laughed my ass off. I was like, I'll be there. So when I came out and they started to cheer, and I knew there's certain things I do when I'm a heel when I try to get, I don't get myself all fired up that much, because the more fired up I get, the more fired up they get. Mm-hmm. So I try to keep the energy way down. Mm-hmm. But also, when I come out and people are sticking their hands up, I don't touch them. I ignore them. I blow them off. I go and I do my thing. I'm all about business. And I did, but when I came back, I was like, oh, it's my hometown. I'm never going to be here again. There was like a couple little kids with their hands out, and I just couldn't resist, man. I was like, wow. I totally just gave in. I was like, started slapping hands. It was like the last few seconds. I was praying like their cameras were going to turn off. I turned around. I was praying he was going to say, yeah, we're clear. And it was like 4, 3.
Oh, you're like, damn it.
You know, but yeah, it was like I totally gave in. I walked through the curtain. I said, I'm so sorry. Hunter started just like a baby face. I was like, I'm sorry, dude. It's my hometown. I couldn't help it. It was killing me. It was like little kids with their hands out. I was like, oh, man. Yeah, so I just caved. Just last time in my hometown, the first time I was in that arena trying to get a job with the WWE, they kicked me out.
What?
Yeah, security kicked me out, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was told that we called the WWE at the time, and I think Jim Cornette was running like talent relations, and we knew that they were in town. So I had gone backstage and not just kind of wandered back there. Nobody stopped me, but I was asking around, is Jim Cornette here? Is Jim Cornette here? And finally, I'm standing around for a while, and a security guy there comes up, and he goes, are you with someone? I was like, no, I was looking for Jim Cornette. And he goes, you're going to have to leave, man.
Wow, I never knew this.
Yeah, no, they kicked me out. Yeah.
That's crazy. And then you became Dave Bautista that's amazing.
The funny thing is, so the promoter who was there at the time was Doug Sharpsburg. Do you remember Doug?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but it was about a year after that, or a couple years after that, maybe. Actually, it may have even been longer, but it was some time past after that. I was there for a house show, and I saw Doug, and he was there. And I said, do you remember me? And he said, no. I said, and I reminded him he was the one who had me kicked out of the building. Oh. And he felt so awful, like he felt mortified.
He didn't remember.
No, he remembered me.
But he remembered.
But I guess he thought I was just some guy who was full of shit.
Obviously.
But I was really looking for a job.
Wow.
But he remembered, and we actually became very close after that. He felt so bad, like if I ever needed tickets anywhere.
He's like, I threw out
front rows. Because he felt so guilty about that, yeah.
This is Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
I certainly hope you guys are enjoying the interview with Dave Bautista as much as I am. My gosh, I love Dave, and every time I learn so much about him. And I will get right back with the rest of our conversation. But because it is WrestleMania week, you know, you guys are going to be hearing a lot of noise in the background, all that good stuff. But it is an action-packed week. It has meant that I have had to be on my A game. There is so much going on with autograph signings, with Hall of Fames, with making announcements at WrestleMania. I have to be on my A game. And sometimes it is very stressful, but is also a little tiring because you don't get much sleep. All right, any of you have that in your life where you're always on the go and you're tired, or your jobs are very stressful, but you have to be on your A game? Well, I'm going to tell you about something that will tremendously help you out, and that is 2 new products from Cured Nutrition. They are called Rise and Zen. Rise and Zen. Okay, so let me talk to you about nootropics. What are nootropics? Well, they have positive things for your brain. And remember that these are CBD products. They are CBD and they're hemp-derived. They are not THC. The THC is the psychoactive component. And those are the ones that you have to be careful with. But CBD is just really, really good for you because it enhances you in so many different ways. Like I said, with your mind clarity. So the Rise, let me tell you about that one. That one will help decrease fatigue and exhaustion. It helps concentration and memory. It eases stress and anxiety. And like I said, we all deal with some kind of stress and anxiety. Also, it naturally increases energy, endurance, and also strength, but without the use of stimulants. A lot of you don't like stimulants. I don't like stimulants. I'm very, very sensitive to that. So that's what Rise is very good for. It will boost your immune support. It provides essential antioxidants. It also is an enhancement in creativity, heightened motivation. I mean, who doesn't need all of this? So remember, from Cured Nutrition, that is the new Rise product. All right, so let me talk to you about Zen. Zen are with adaptogens. Adaptogens are non-toxic plants that are marketed as helping the body resist stressors of all kinds, whether it's physical, chemical, or biological. They're herbs and they're roots, and they're used for centuries in Chinese traditions. So these boost your immune system. They also balance your hormones because adaptogens support hormone system. They reduce stress and depression and anxiety. A lot of you do deal with anxiety, and there are times that anxiety hits me. It also will increase your sense of well-being. So who doesn't need all of this, right? Cured Nutrition. Find out more. Just go to curednutrition.com/glory and make sure that you use the promo code GLORY. You're going to get 15% off everything, your entire order. All right, curednutrition.com/glory with the promo code GLORY. You will thank me so much. You're going to be so much better, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether it is just traveling, whatever your schedule is, you're going to thank me for this. So curednutrition.com/glory with the promo code GLORY for 15% off. Okay, from something good for you, I'm going to switch gears into something fun for you. Well, what's more fun than wearing a brand new outfit? And what I mean by that, the price of it doesn't have to be brand new, because sometimes when you get a brand new outfit, the sticker price is shocking. Well, what if you got something new to wear, but it just was a lot cheaper, like 90% cheaper? And that's because it is secondhand. However, it is brand name clothing. Brand names, such as 90% off of retail of your favorite brands like Lululemon, Carter's, Nike, J.Crew, and Gap. Look, I'm constantly needing new clothes to wear. I'm constantly doing an appearance here and an appearance there. So I like the fact that I can save money while I'm actually having something new to wear. So with this, it's so easy because swap.com has something for the whole family, for women, for men, for juniors, for kids, babies, and maternity clothes. I mean, think about kids and maternity clothing, right? You're only going to wear that a few times, and kids just grow out of their clothes all the time really fast. So swap.com makes it so easy. I love shopping at swap.com. I actually went on there. I was looking for a specific kind of boot. I found them. They were $30 and they were Tahari. Taharis are expensive shoes at 90% off. $30. Leather, like leather. So swap.com, like I said, has something that just fits everyone. And if it doesn't fit, they have a hassle-free return within 30 days. It is that easy, that simple. And for all my Chasing Glory listeners, you're going to get something very special, because all you have to do is go to swap.com/glory, and once you get there, you can sign up to get free shipping on your first purchase. All you have to do is enter your email address and you get the offer. It's a low risk, a very, very low risk way to shop online. So next time you don't want to spend much on brand new clothing, spend money on brand name clothing at 90% off. Swap.com. You're going to love me for this. You're going to see so many choices online. It's millions and millions of categories. So try it now. Swap.com/glory. Make sure that you put in your email address and you can get free shipping on your first purchase. Swap.com/glory. Try it now. All right, let's go back to Dave Bautista.
Hi, this is WWE superstar Lacey Evans, and you are listening to Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
How did you actually make your in to the industry?
I through AFA, Wild Samoan. So I went and I paid to go to school there. I wrestled, and I was there for about a year. And he called up to the WWE with Dr. Tom and Bruce Pritchard, and he got me an audition, a tryout to go up there. So I went out and I tried out, and they took a look at me and they signed me to a contract.
That's
the next day. Yeah.
The next day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a career, seriously, that you've had, not only here, but now with wrestling. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah,
but let me ask you, because two big questions. One, I remember us talking about the atmosphere of WWE, the politics, the, people gunning for each other. I
Right.
mean, it's a very ego-driven,
Right.
and there's only so many spots,
Right.
and so you're definitely like,
Right.
Everyone's out for themselves.
Right.
Do you feel that in Hollywood? Same thing? Because it's kind of the same thing. There's only so many acting spots, or...
I guess there is. It's weird. I haven't felt it so much. I felt like a little bit at first there was, getting people to look past the stereotype of a pro wrestler, which was the big challenge for me. But not anymore. I really think I've come into my own. I think a lot of people are not only familiar with who I am, but oddly enough, at 50, I feel like people want to work with me now. Like it's weird. Because it's just weird at a later age that I'm getting to where people are excited to work with me and excited to meet me and have me, be involved in their projects.
I think it's because they also see that you take it serious.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Absolutely, it shows.
Yeah, I hope so. I think I may have taken the long road, but I think it was the road that I wanted because I really wanted the credibility of an actor.
Yeah.
And I think I've gotten that. Yeah, I think I have. But I guess time will tell. But I think that I've gotten past all those challenges, those hurdles that I had at first. It took some doing.
Right.
But I think I've finally kind of crossed over. I'm with a bigger agency now, and they've helped a lot. And I have to say that it broke my heart to leave my last agent because I loved him so much.
Why did you have to leave? Because
we needed to be at a bigger agency. We wanted him to come with us just for a couple different reasons. Didn't work out. But we probably left my old agency a couple years too late. And we really should have left. It's just that we were with the right agent at the wrong agency. And not a dig on them, but it's because where I wanted my career to be, it was just, they were too small to handle it. They were a boutique agency, and we needed to be at a monster agency. So now my agents do a lot of the talking for me.
Yeah.
And they know because their client lists are the who's who.
That's awesome.
So it's a lot easier for me to get things done now.
So do you feel like you've made it in Hollywood yet?
No, not at all.
No?
No, not at all. Not at all.
What will feel like you've made it?
I want to be producing award-winning films.
You want to produce?
Yeah, that's my goal. My goal is to produce. My ultimate goal is to direct, but I don't think my future lies in directing.
Why?
I think my future lies in producing. I think there's just, I would like to, because I think I'm a storyteller at heart.
Yeah.
And at least one time I would like to tell my story on film. But I think there's just so many people who are just better qualified. I think my strength lies in production. I think I can lend a strong hand in creativity. Mm-hmm. I think that's where my strength lies. I would feel I want to direct because it's very challenging, and I want to say that I did, but I don't think that that's where my real strength is.
Yeah,
I think
look
it's
at Bradley Cooper, his first one, Star is Born.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Right.
Do you have already an idea of what you want to produce, whether it's drama or comedy?
It would most likely be drama.
Yeah.
I think that's where my passion lies. I love drama. I do like some comedic stuff, but it's always going to be. There's always going to be a hint of comedy sprinkled in, because I don't think any film should be completely dark. You have to make people laugh just to lighten up the mood every once in a while. It's a pacing thing. It's a tone thing.
Right.
If you just depress somebody for 2 hours, then that's what they're leaving depressed. And it's exhausting being depressed for that long. Even if you take a film that's absolutely heartbreaking, like Schindler's List. Schindler's List had its moments of really dark humor, like really dark humor.
Yeah.
And there was sometimes they just lighten the mood with people just singing or being happy.
Yeah. I remember It's a Beautiful Life, and it was all about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And yet he could find something to lighten it up.
That's right. His performance and the way he's interacting with his son, and the beauty, the innocence of the child, it just makes you smile. Yeah. So even though it being so dark in nature, there has to be the moments where you're just has to be a range of emotions. You can't just make people depressed for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah. It's too much.
I totally get that. Do you watch a lot of movies?
I love movies, yeah.
Study.
Love them. I'm guilty of not watching enough foreign film, because I think there's you're missing out on a lot if you're not watching foreign film. It's just for me to to read
captions.
Captions and watch a film is it's like a big deal for me.
Yeah.
It's something that's hard for me.
Is that because of schooling?
It's because of my issue, my learning disabilities, yeah.
Did you touch on that before? I don't even know.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it. I don't struggle with it.
Was it dyslexia?
I do have dyslexia, yeah. Okay. And I have ADD as well. I'm that kid.
But that's okay, like you said.
Yeah, but I've learned how to deal with it in certain ways. So
yeah.
It doesn't feel like a handicap or anything. But it is sometimes a struggle, especially if I have to go to like a cast reading, when you have to do a table reading, sit down.
Oh, yeah, that's
like
right.
I usually apologize in advance because sometimes I get a little self-conscious about it.
It's wild because Lana actually shared that she has a learning disability and suffered from dyslexia. And before she even found out, she had actual, when she went to school in Russia, she's American, went to school in Russia, her parents were doing some missionary work there, and her Russian school teachers were calling her stupid and dumb and all of this, and she didn't know any of that, But of course it caused this traumatic thing because all she wanted to do was fit in, and yet she's just being called stupid and dumb, and people are laughing at her. And then she found out she had dyslexia. When that episode aired, wow, the amount of love that went to her and the amount of thank you that people said, thank you for sharing that you had a learning disability and that you can still make it through, which is the same thing here. So more than just the casting thing, does it ever bother you?
Not so much anymore, but because I think in my 50 years I've just learned how to cope with it. But I went through the same thing. I think I was absolutely traumatized from school because I did. I was self-conscious. I always kind of felt like I was stupid. I always felt like I couldn't read good. I couldn't read. I was embarrassed. I was a kid. If we ever had to read and loud in class, I either took off. I wasn't in class, or I sat in the back hiding. But it was one of those things that just like then there was no label for it. I didn't know. I mean, I'm sure it existed that people were being diagnosed with it, but I didn't know what it was. I never heard people talk about that. I just thought I didn't read good.
Yeah.
But I knew I wasn't stupid because I learned so good verbally.
Right.
If I had a teacher who was like was conversational class, I was great in that class.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you sent me home with a book and said you have to read 3 paragraphs, I was screwed because it would just take. It'd take everything I had to just read and then read it again and then read it again because it's just not. I'm not comprehending. It's not sinking in. And I don't know why, but
What about your ADD? Have you been able to find a way to hone that?
Not really.
No.
Not really. Sometimes it's worse than others. But no, it is what it is. Sometimes I'm just out there. I actually had a funny thing happen to me while I was on set filming with Zoe Saldana. But we were doing the scene, and I just was gone. I was lost in something, and then I heard her just be like saying to me like really, really sweet, David, and I looked over and everybody was staring at me. And I guess they had been speaking to me. And I was just gone.
Squirrel.
And I looked at her and she was being so sweet because she knows me and she knows. And she goes, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm sorry. And then we just went on with our day. But they're like,
wow.
But yeah, no, it's something that just every once in a while, just boom. And even when sometimes in conversations, I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. Yeah.
Well, you've been pretty honed in on that, so I appreciate it. Yeah. I know some people actually take medication for it. Have you ever believed in that? Have you ever tried it?
I've tried it, but I just I didn't like the way it made me feel. I'm not one to medicate myself. I take medication for my asthma, which I have for years, but it's because physically, if I don't, I struggle. But I just otherwise, I've just never been that guy. I don't like the painkiller thing. Just never. I was fortunate enough that I wasn't one of those guys.
Yeah.
And I was on Adderall. I was prescribed Adderall for a while, and I just didn't feel good. And I felt jumpy and hyper, and I didn't like it.
Does your son share this at all?
Not that we can tell.
Not that
we can tell. No, he's great. He's doing really well. He's your typical. I mean, he's good in school, but he's lacks a little bit of focus. But I think it's because he's more focused on girls.
That's funny.
He's that kid. It's so funny. Like the more we see it, it's so funny. Even his mom laughs because he's really into being cute now.
How old is he?
He's 11 now.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I went and watched him play. So this was maybe last year, a couple of years ago. But I went and watched. It was his last football game of the season. I had to travel in to watch him, and I watched this guy. He's out playing. He's in his costume. And the whole time he's turning around and he's looking at the cheerleaders and he's making these funny faces. And I'm like, dude, the game's that way. The game's that way. He's on the sideline dancing, looking at the cheerleaders dancing. I was like, oh my God.
Well, is he taking after his father?
No, God, no. I hope I was never that guy. I don't know how I ever got a girlfriend, to be honest with you. I just kind of, I think I have that puppy dog appeal.
Yeah, you do. You do. You have the soft thing that people actually feel like they can come up to you.
I think that's it. I think I have the puppy dog factor.
So. Are you? How do you feel now that you're, going through this divorce? Mm-hmm. Does it shy you away from wanting another commitment, a relationship?
No. I want to be in. I want to be in a relationship. I love being in love. I love being in relationships. It's just that now I feel like as I've gotten older, I've gotten more settled in my ways, and I've gotten less patient, and I just don't, and I've never been that guy to just go out and just kind of meet girls, just kind of, it's just not me, and so I just, right now, and it's so fresh too that I'm not really attempting to put myself into.
I'm sure.
But my fear is that, I don't want to grow old alone. I don't, I've kind of watched my mom do it, and she seems okay. She's happy. She spends a lot of time on the phone, but I don't want to grow old alone. I want to grow old with someone, and I thought Sarah was going to be that someone, but we just really grew apart. We were together for 6 years before we got married, and it's because after, when I split from Angie, I just never thought I would get married again.
Yeah.
And I was really terrified of getting married, but I loved Sarah so much that we made that commitment. And it just,
Yeah.
Here I am.
But now you're not scared to get married again.
I'm terrified to get married again, but I'm not terrified to be in a relationship. I think I'm a relationship guy. I like being in relationships. I like, spending time, with someone.
Yeah.
And, I like sharing things with someone. I like having someone to call and share good news and bad news.
I know that you mentioned when this was going on
mm-hmm.
that you actually secluded yourself, like you tend to do that.
Mm-hmm.
How, to help people out there that maybe are going through that,
mm-hmm.
that then seclude themselves through
mm-hmm.
that, how are you able to pull yourself out so that you don't get that all the time and then...
it's weird. I don't know if there's a magical answer for that, because you can't tell someone, if someone's going through a depression, you can't say, well, you got to do this and you got to do that, and it's going to work for them. I don't know, because I think it's all individual, and it's always easier said than done. Mm-hmm. I think what I did was I work out a lot.
Yeah.
It just gives me somewhere to channel it. Music helps me a lot. I try to... I constantly listen to fun music. I always revert back to disco or
that's awesome.
Or Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Which is probably not the most popular answer right now, but Michael Jackson music is still it's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's incredible. But it just makes me happy, and it takes me back to a good place, a good time. But I use that a lot, and also I really believe Florida makes me happy, and because. Sunshine makes me happy.
Yeah.
If I wake up and it's a sunny day, I'm automatically,
right.
I'm automatically just feeling better about the day.
So are you looking forward to moving back to DC?
Yeah, and I'll spend, I won't move back there. I won't give up my place in Florida. It's my home. And when I say it's my home, it's not because of where it's at, but it's because the home I've built I've put so much heart and soul into this. It's so much a part of me.
Yeah.
That I won't give it up. It's just I feel like I'm at home when I'm there. It's and it's rare that it's not every place where you feel like this is my home. So I just won't give it up. But I would want to get a place in DC because, for one, I love DC. Every time I go there, just something special about DC. I feel like I'm connected to that city, and I want to spend more time with Oliver. So I'll just go there and I'll spend time with him and love my city. I also have a brand new niece who I haven't even met yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my brother had a baby. So I want to go and be closer to them because he's really he's a great guy and his wife's awesome, and I want to see his little girl grow up too.
That's awesome.
So I have reasons to be there now.
Yeah.
And I don't have any reasons to not be there. So,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to take up more of time because I know that WrestleMania, man, with everything, the schedule and all, I really appreciate you sitting me down.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we did.
What I want to know, leaving this interview, is Sunday, what are you hoping? I know what you want to get out of this, but what are you hoping the fans get out of this? I
hope, first of all, I have to say that I hope that neither Hunter and I hope we come out healthy. That's my biggest concern, is that both of us walk away from this healthy. Because we are both the type of guys that are going to go out and put it all on the line. Yeah. Like, I think we're both risking a lot. The type of the match that we're having is it's risky. It's very heavily stunt driven. But I hope that the fans they see that.
Yeah.
And they remember that first and foremost. We're going to go out there and beat the hell out of ourselves to entertain them.
Yeah.
So I hope that they really just if nothing else, just appreciate that fact, because it is a scary thing that neither of us have been in the ring in a long time, and we're going to go out and have this type of match on the biggest stage of all.
Yeah.
It's a little bit unsettling, but I hope that they're, if all goes well and said and done, I just hope that they're entertained, that they actually just have fun and kind of, suspend their disbelief for, the 30 minutes that we're out there. That's kind of always what I wanted from wrestling. It's just to give people entertaining, 30 minutes of entertainment where they can just kind of get lost in it.
Yeah. Do you feel are you scared you might not feel closure from this? Like you might
No, this is it. And
it. Okay, good.
And the whole run, the matches, I know what the match is. I know what the outcome is. I know what we've done leading up to this. Could it have been better? Yes. Could it have been more thought out? Yes. But am I content with it? Yes. I think it's been fun. There's been some fun moments. Also, I've gotten so much positive feedback from it, and I love that, because the fans, I think they know that I don't need to be there. I just want to be there, because I love it, and I think they know that, and that means a lot to me. It means something to me. So that is closure. Whether our match is great or not, remains to be seen. And I hope it is. It's going to be the best match of my career. No way in hell. Not a chance in hell. But I hope that the story we tell is great. I hope the outcome is something that the fans will, get excited about. And I think that, as long as we're both healthy leaving that stadium, that I will feel the closure that I wanted. And hopefully go into the Hall of Fame shortly after.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I could see it.
I've already asked someone to induct me. I will go into the Hall of Fame. I don't know if it'll be next year or the year after. Eventually I will.
They've already talked to you about it?
Vince has talked to me about it a couple years back.
Wow.
And the reason I said, and I was public about this, and the reason I said I just wouldn't be interested is because I didn't feel like I had closure on my career. I'm not ready for the Hall of Fame. When I have closure in my career, when I'm ready to hang up my boots is when I'll go. I talk about Hall of Fame. But
what would that mean for you, Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I thought about it. It's I don't know. I don't know what it'll mean. It just I guess it's just an acknowledgement of the success you've had in your career. But to be honest with you, that night, that formal night of people acknowledging it, doesn't mean more to me than the fans around the world in the stadium and the arenas acknowledging it right there on the spot. Like, to me, that's what it's all about. You're entertaining these people for 30, 40 minutes of their lives and them losing their minds. That's the acknowledgement that I love.
You know what I love, and I cannot leave this interview without bringing this up, but I love about you is that you say it like it is. You don't hold back. I don't know if that's ever hurt you or not, speaking your mind.
Yeah.
But speaking about, Steve Amell made a comment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And his comment was about he was excited to see you and Triple H go against each other, but he also was hoping that the celebrity thing wasn't going to get in the way, which was very confusing to me. Yeah. I loved your reply. Yeah. You're like, wait, excuse me, but I'm a 6-time world champion.
Yeah, like let's not get shit twisted here.
You were a wrestler first.
Yeah.
And then a celebrity.
That was the thing, and the only reason I said that, and we actually had some some correspondence between us, because he was afraid. I think he didn't mean to offend me, but he did a little bit. And the reason I responded the way I did is because he has a lot of impact on people. He has a huge outreach in social media, and what he said could really lead people's thought process in a very different way than I need it to be. Right. I need them to be invested in this match because it means something. It means something to Hunter. Right. It means something to me. And this is my whole career.
Right.
So him, even though he made a comment not meaning any disrespect, it could have caused like a domino effect of a really negative outcry on people's, look on our match. And the fans will carry that to their arena.
Yeah.
And we'll get that, Daniel Bryan CM Punk effect when we're going in there and we're killing ourselves, but they're just chanting something else because that's what they learned on the internet.
Right.
That's what someone like Steven, who has such influence, has told them to feel about this. So they go with this mindset, and that's bullshit.
Yeah.
This is what this match is about. This is what's on the line.
Right.
I'm risking my whole career to come back and do this match. So don't dismiss it like it's some kind of celebrity thing that's just like something to catch people's attention, to sell a few tickets. It's way more than that.
Right.
This match deserves to be on this card. Not at the top, but it deserves to be on the card. It's a very credible match.
Yeah.
So I just felt like he was taken away from the credibility of it.
I love his response. I don't know if you saw it afterwards. And then he literally said, "Don't kill me."
Oh, I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it.
Oh, I have got to tell you what he said.
But we did. We had some correspondence through a mutual friend named Michael Rosenbaum, who I love. Do you know Rosie? He's such a great dude.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so he hooked us up, and I told him why I responded and why I responded the way I did. And it was definitely no disrespect because I love Steven, man. I love him. I love his show.
Well, he responded. Here he said, "Hey, Dave, I went out of my way to introduce myself to you in Atlanta at a convention so I could tell you what a big fan of yours I am.
Yeah.
You couldn't have been more pleasant. My tweet was meant to poke fun at me. It clearly wasn't funny. Please don't kill me."
Yeah, that's so funny. He knew that I wasn't trying to be personal, but I was afraid of how that tweet would affect his very large audience.
Yeah.
Very large audience. I mean, that's a lot of people to be reaching out to, and
I think it was very well handled between the two of you. I think it was good that you did speak out, which is important. Has it ever backfired that you speak out?
I don't think so. Maybe, I've gotten the worst backlash I ever had of negativity was when I defended James Gunn. Like, I got beaten up, and I got beaten up royally, like to the point where it was almost intolerable. It was overwhelming how bad I got bashed. But some of the stuff, and it was just crazy. People started accusing me of like crazy shit, just pulling stuff out of nowhere. I actually got one guy accused me of sexually harassing divas, WWE divas.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, and I immediately said, if you're making a formal accusation, get a lawyer, buddy.
Yeah, no.
Get ready to be penniless.
I want everyone to know.
Yeah, well, that's not me.
That's
not me. Like, Mama didn't raise me that way. Yeah, I didn't. That's just not me. I'm just not that guy.
All of us adored.
Thank you. But I'm just not that guy.
No.
And so,
and you and I have been friends for so long, and you've never been that guy, ever.
Because people just started accusing James of all this crazy stuff that he's never done, he's never condoned or encouraged, but people just like jumped on this negative bandwagon.
Yeah.
And I just defended him. If it was going to be to my last breath, I was going to defend him because I knew I was right. Yeah. I knew he's a good guy. So, but that was the worst that I've ever gotten beaten up. Publicly. Yeah.
And does that ever make you go double think again about saying anything?
No, because I think if you're like true to yourself, if you say something and you mean it, I think you can always defend that.
I love that.
You know, I mean, if you're just kind of honest.
Because people can try to shut you down.
Yeah, because I think if you start thinking too much, then you're gonna. So now you got this. We're in this this whole thing where people are so overly politically correct,
oh my
and
God, so sensitive.
they're over analyzing everything, but not they're overthinking the way they answer everything, the way they say everything. And sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes you gotta just speak from the heart.
Yeah.
And if you just speak from the heart, if you speak from the heart, and somebody has a countering opinion, and they say, this is why I think you're wrong in saying that. And if you really believe that, and you can see their point of view, then say, yeah, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Let me try to phrase that a different way.
Right.
Or let me try to have a different outlook on this. Maybe somebody can change your mind about something, the way you're looking at something.
Right.
But I think you always got to kind of be real and be honest, you know.
Yeah.
And then if you're wrong, just say you're wrong.
Right.
You know.
All right, so we're going to close it out like this. I don't even remember if I asked you this the first time, because I started asking this later, I think. I don't think I asked you, but has your chase for glory looked the way you thought it was going to look?
No. No, not at all. And it's weird because it's a chase that it just never stops. Like when I catch, one piece of glory, I out of the side of my eye, I see another.
Really? Yeah.
And it's just like, I think it's just weird how like one thing always leads to another, and it's just, you find these little bits and pieces of things, that you're already doing that lead you in a whole different direction. Like with entertainment, with wrestling, that led to something, led to acting, and acting led to producing, and possibly, I'm looking at these just directors and they're telling their story, and I thought, man, that's so great. And so, hopefully it leads to that. But I think one thing leads to another.
But I love for you, I see that it's not you just want glory, limelight. You just want to continue learning and growing.
It's personal glory. It's not like I don't feel like it's like I'm not trying to, like when I try to accomplish things, they're personal things. They're things that I'm passionate about. That's all.
That's what it shows.
Yeah.
I love that. I love you dearly. I do. Such a great guy.
Likewise. I'm glad we got to do this.
Good luck on Sunday.
Yeah, thank you.
And good luck with all your movies.
Thank you.
I can't wait to continue seeing you in the big screen.
They're going to promote. So this is really cool.
Yeah, so promote.
But so my movie, my movie Stuber, that'll come out in July. They're going to do the world premiere right before my match at WrestleMania.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's so great.
That's awesome.
I thought it was great. Like they're really investing in this. They're investing in the WWE and in my history and the audience. Like that says a lot to me.
Yeah.
Like that to me, that is building a bridge.
It shows that they get it.
Yeah.
That they get this audience and they get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it took some doing, and that may be one thing that we can absolutely credit to The Rock. Like he built a huge bridge.
Yeah.
But not everybody, they saw it. Some people saw it, and they really wanted, to use that bridge, connect that bridge. But I think he was the guy who definitely he built that bridge.
Yeah. All right. So Stuber's coming out, and then you've got My Spy.
Yeah.
That will come out later. Yeah. Don't know yet.
Yeah.
But that looks like it's going to be an amazing movie.
I think I've seen the movie, and it's I've only seen the first cut, so it's not even close to finished, but it's pretty great already.
Yeah.
And I think the world is about to fall in love with Chloe Coleman.
Oh, she's adorable. I already saw her in the trailer.
She's such a sweetie. She's so cute. She's so she's so real.
Yeah.
Like she is like the sweetest little girl. I think people are going to fall in love with her. But there's also a couple other people that are like real standouts. Kristen Shaw, she's been around for a minute, but I think this is one of her bigger roles, and she's gold. Like everything that comes out of her mouth is hysterical, and she's got like a great range, and she's got like an interesting look. I think she's really going to catch fire from this movie. And Ken Jeong is he's so great. He is. I think Ken is the most grateful person in the world. It's weird because he was a doctor, like super accomplished, and he left medicine to pursue acting.
Yeah.
And he is the most grateful guy to be on a movie set.
Right.
Like he is so excited to be there, to be a working actor. Yeah. I've never met anyone and I'm excited to be a working actor. But he is by far the most excited person I've ever met to be a working actor. Then we have this guy named Devere Rogers, he's hysterical. I think this is going to be a breakout role for him. I don't think he's had any really large roles, but he's like steals every scene he's in.
Wow.
Remember I said that to Vera Rogers. Remember that name.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for you. And off camera, you told me some of the other big projects that are coming that I'm so excited. So it's going to be amazing just to continue to see your journey.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
What an incredible ending to an interview that I just literally finished watching the match between Triple H and Bautista. That's right, I am here at WrestleMania, and I wanted to wait to record this outro until after their match. You heard him talk about his mindset going into the match and how nervous he was, but man, did they pull it off. If you guys watched it, it was absolutely incredible. Bautista, I am so proud of you. Thank you so much for all the amazing years that you have given us. Woo. You'll hear it. Wow, that was pyro for you. That was great timing. I think that was a celebration as to Triple H and Bautista and how they did. Okay. So maybe not, but let me tell you, their match was incredible, and I'm literally here at MetLife Stadium, and the final match is about to take place. But Dave, thank you. I really appreciate you being on Chasing Glory. And for the rest of you, thank you again for following Chasing Glory and continuing this journey with me. Make sure that you subscribe, that you review, and thank you for the 5-star rating. All right, guys, until next week, much peace, love, and passion, and remember to always be yourself and trust that it's enough. See you guys.
Thanks for joining us here on Chasing Glory from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends, and be sure to subscribe at Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite shows.